So what does a designer do? Like literally day to day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Sunday. What is the life of a designer? So this week we really have to crack a design for a mechanic jacket. Mechanic jacket is a classic bit of work where I think it will slot in pretty nicely into something that we don't have, which is a light jacket, kind of a successor to the pilot jacket that we have. Now, when reading and trying to crack this design, I'll show you, just come around. So the mechanic jacket is always a pretty light intermediate layer. It's got the zip front, 2 pockets. You can see all of these examples here all have zip front 2 pockets. You know, some of them have been decorated with these patches, big logos, embroidery, things like trucks and cars don't really live in my brand universe. So I have to express auto sport in a different way. But first we'll figure out a shape. I really like this Toyota Blues-On. It kind of is a modern shape where it's a little bit wider, a little bit more relaxed. I've chosen a raglan sleeve. Raglan sleeves are used a lot in sportswear because they give you a good range of motion through the arm rather than a set-in sleeve. But at present, this needs a little bit more design because as it is, it's just a zip front raglan sleeve jacket. That could be a track jacket, that could be anything. Which leads us to pockets. So I was thinking motorsport, I was thinking about mechanics. That led me to these racetracks and the shape of that. Can we adapt the shapes of these to these workwear pockets? I've been sketching all day, trying to get an idea of how do we make this into a pocket, you know, like the turns of the track. I think this is my favorite at the moment. It's got these curves, but it's a little bit geometric. That kind of looks like a racetrack, but if I didn't have to explain it, that also looks like a functional pocket as well. Your handle going through here. So we're gonna clean this up and see how we go. So this is straight out of the oven. This is what we've cleaned up. Zip front, raglan sleeve, and this kind of racetrack pocket. It's very tricky because you can draw anything you like, but it still has to exist in real life. It still needs a fabric, a color, a finish, and it needs to make sense as a 3-dimensional object. We need to make an appointment with our pattern maker, and that will be for Thursday. So, how is front office going here?
The brand is going incredibly well. All of our product landed a week or a week and a half ago, and we've sold through the majority of it, the vast majority. These 2 jackets are the only ones we have left.
No way, okay.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I initially got in contact with you for front office to be a kind of exclusively menswear brand in this store.
Yeah.
I'm completely reneging on that because it's as popular with women and non-binary people as it is with men.
I'm glad.
And for me, the greatest joy in this store is just seeing how people look when they walk out of a fitting room and the things that they style.
Yeah.
It's insane.
For us, it's like when you step into our store, it's our world only, right? So it's our kind of, you're mixing this with potentially a tailored pant, potentially a pair of jeans.
Yeah, this is totally worlds collide.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
So who else is here?
Brands like Kelly and Emil, I feel like kind of sit really interestingly with your brand. We've also got like our in-house label, which is On Parks. A lot of it's quite femme, and then we have our newer in-house vertical, which is called Mainline, and a lot of that is unisex and more masculine leaning garb. And then some of the other heavy hitter brands, like Ganni is one of our biggest sellers. Like I said, Connor Ives, Coperni, Pam, obviously being another like Melbourne religion.
Legendary brand.
Yeah, this I feel sits really well with front office too.
Yeah. So we just checked out Main, which is the shop that sells our stuff. Pretty exciting, really, to be next to some pretty big brands. Next up, we are going to some vintage shops here in Fitzroy. Being a designer doesn't just mean looking at photos on the internet. We have to find physical references to answer some unanswered questions. Today we're in Lost and Found, which is set up like a vintage market, like each stall is curated by someone else. And I'm looking for mechanic jackets and zeroing in on everything that I couldn't see online, like the weight, colors, drape, like how it works in a three-dimensional space. And everything that we learn feeds back into the design. Like, we're still a small company, so we don't have a lot of time and money to sample things back and forth endlessly. So we really need to get this initial sample right. Wednesday is not a design day or a business day. This is the day I work as a doctor. I can't really film surgery in a hospital today, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Just imagine 8 hours of operating and not much else. This idea for a workwear mechanic jacket, basically. These are classic American mechanic jackets. They're quite geometric here, made of cotton canvas. Our version is, so I started with this, so this kind of looks like a racetrack.
Oh yeah, cool.
You know, but raglan and canvas might not.
Raglan canvas is still good.
You know?
Yeah, we just need to put a dart in your shoulder. Or have an overarm seam.
So at the back, it'll be raglan.
It can be raglan and then it can go down here.
Yeah, around here.
And that's where your sleeve opening is.
Yep. So I was thinking very similar to this. We have this sort of cuff closure.
Yeah.
And side adjusters like this.
Perfect.
I can leave this here.
Yeah, great. How'd you get in your hand in your pocket? Is your hand going
So
in the top?
here.
In there, yeah. But it's all curved, yeah?
It's all this should be curved.
Yeah. And then we'll probably have a bar tack here and a bar tack here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to reinforce it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I just want to keep that double stitch going around for continuity. But how do we create that so that?
Well, you can bag the whole pocket up with lining. And then stitch it on.
Yeah.
And then the bar tacks will hold it in place. So it's almost like the inside of a denim jeans pocket.
Interior pocket. This doesn't have one, but I'd like one, I think.
In the quilting? Yeah.
In the quilting on the left side.
Is there like a welt or a patch?
Like a welt.
Well,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
We are on our way back to the studio. We've just been to a wool auction, which is something that I really expected to be part of. But yeah, it's a weird situation with the brand. Thank goodness we're popular online. It just gives us really wild opportunities to go to a wool auction. Next week we're going to a farm to presumably play with sheep. I don't know, but just to figure out what goes into merino wool. That's a busy week. Today is admin and meeting day, so I've just decided that I'm not a designer today. Today is just going to be meetings and warehouses and Microsoft Excel and all this stuff that no one tells you that you need to do as a designer. So it's going to be completely boring. We've got back-to-back meetings. So this is my Friday, and tomorrow the shop opens up for the weekend. So I'll see you there. So on the weekends, this place opens up to a shop. It's usually my office Monday to Friday, but we open up those curtains on Saturdays and Sundays, and then we invite people in. E-commerce is a very strange business. What we do is we just put stuff up, and then you never hear from who's buying it, why they buy it, and what people like or don't like about certain designs. So it's a really good way to just get feedback, but also just to observe people, just when people walk around, see what they gravitate or beeline to. If they try something on and decide to buy it, what is that decision? If they decide not to buy stuff, is it a fit issue, is it a color issue? And just getting that instant feedback is so valuable. But from a business point of view, it's completely nonsensical. We're an Australian brand, but most of our business is now overseas. Australia accounts for 15% of our sales, and Melbourne itself, our home city, accounts for 4%. And I think the people who come in and actually buy stuff here through these doors accounts for a fraction of that 4%. So it's not really about business, but it's so valuable just to get information.
So the plan for the mechanic jacket is that we've got the sketches. That sketch is going to turn into a pattern, and we'll solve that shoulder issue by taking out the raglan sleeve and putting in a set-in sleeve. It just helps with that sort of fabric. What we'll do with the pattern is that will go off to the factory, and then we'll make a sample out of that. With the actual fabric we're going to use, the actual leather we're going to use for the collar, just a complete version. And then we'll see what happens, and that's how you develop an idea. And then we start all over again because we have something else to develop. We've just got a commission from the Singapore Design Week to think of a suit. So next week we'll be figuring out sketching ideas. We'll do it all over again, how we're going to do a complete suit jacket and pants. And that is what we do week in, week out all the time now.